Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of our weekly Podium picks. Sean Woodland and Tommy Marquez here. We're going back into the CrossFit realm after last week delving into the board game realm. We think we have a good one here. This is actually, Tommy, suggested by a viewer or / listener, and I can't remember who that was, but I read it. I said that would be a really good one to do. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of entertaining. This week we're doing our top moments from the games that made you go, seriously?
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. So we're calling them our seriously moments from the games. We're going to do, as always, Spirit of the Games, Dark Horse, third place, second place, and then first. I believe I started last week with Spirit of the Games and Dark Horse. So I'll let you kick this thing off with those two picks.
I'm not going to lie. This is a fluid list right now.
Yeah, okay. We're still adjusting down to the last second. Okay.
Oh, man. And I have some repeat offenders.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. This is tough.
You're anguishing over this.
I am.
Yeah, this is all
right, my spirit of the games. Because I do believe the spirit of the games is effort.
Okay.
So that being said, Khalipa almost destroying the jib in Amanda.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
My spirit of the games. Because, and a little bit of context here, coming into 2010, a lot of hype around Khalipa potentially winning. There was a lot of people after 2009 that were thinking, well, if Khalipa just hadn't punted the run into the stands, if you remember, opening event in 2009, the trail run back then, Khalipa had to basically crawl across the finish, and they thought he was going to be done.
Yeah.
And he battled all the way back to finish 5th, I believe, that year.
Okay.
Really impressive way he battled back. So everyone was looking forward to him, you know. And then in the first event again, while Chris Spearler is, miraculously winning this event, Jason is just
he's all over the place.
You know that,
this is one of those. This was the instance too. This is before CrossFit figured out how to lay out the field or the field of play, the floor too.
Yes.
To where it was A, conducive to understand who was in the lead, and B, worked well with a TV environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it was the rig was in the center, and then everybody was standing around it. Similar to the 5:30 p.m. class at your local affiliate. And I just remember Khalipa's legs and shoulders just completely betrayed him. And you know that meme where it's the cat and Shaq just kind of shaking their shoulders? Yeah. That was Khalipa's shoulders as he was going over it. No disrespect to him, obviously, because it was a product of him going so hot out of the gates that he just absolutely blew up at the end.
Okay.
And in the very least, that oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
seriously?
Yeah.
Came from, effort.
Okay. All right. So let's go to, that's your spirit of the games. Let's go to your dark horse now.
Oh, man.
Oof. There's a lot of thought being put in this. You're still adjusting your list, aren't you?
This is killing me, man.
Okay. So to full disclosure, Tommy and I don't know each other's picks here.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to pick. And so far, I did not have that one on my list, but I'm curious I think you and I are both going to share a couple picks here.
Okay. This one comes. All right. This will be my dark horse. And it's actually a very white horse. Based on what I'm about to explain to you is in 2012, there was an event called Pendleton.
Yes.
And during the transition from one part of Pendleton, which had a swim, to the other, there was a red-bearded man by the name of Lucas Parker.
Yes, I know where you're going with this. Okay, I actually talked to him about this recently.
Decided to disrobe and
not in, and it wasn't like he was in a place where you would disrobe. He just went full Lucas right on the beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just got naked, and as athletes and women and people were running by. I believe Kristen Clever ran by and made a funny joke comment. And and I heard about it. I was like, really, man?
Seriously?
You couldn't.
And so I talked to him about this, and I asked him about that very moment. He said, I did a calculation in my head about having a whole bunch of sand lodged in every crevice in my junk, or comfort during the event and what it would cost me to take care of that problem before I took off on the next, I believe it was the bike next.
Yeah.
And so he made the calculation that it was more worth his while to clear his area of any sort of abrasions. And he said, I'm just going to be comfortable for the rest of this. And that's why he did it. So there you go. Those are good picks.
Yeah.
I like this. Okay. So I'm going to start now with my spirit of the games, and we have two different. So you're going to get four different things here because my two different picks are different than yours.
Oh, okay.
So you mentioned this, and I think it was put very well that the spirit of the games is about effort, and to me, with the podium picks, it's all about something that we can relate to. So we have all done this. My spirit of the games is Joe Scally on Murph in 2015. So Joe Scally on Murph in 2015. And I love Joe Scally. And he and I continue to sort of talk about this on social media every now and then. He went out super hot on the first mile of Murph. I mean, blazing. I think he was underneath. I saw a screenshot of the broadcast where he was underneath the tennis stadium, which is basically the last step before you get back out to the field on the run. So he was finishing up his mile, and the time on the clock was 5:44. So he was hooking. Got to the actual, pull-ups, push-ups, and air squats of Murph, and then just proceeded to fade away. We never heard from Joe Scally again. So on Murph, I call it. I was joking with him on social media this past Memorial Day. So I'm going to go full Scally on that first mile, and because he actually made a comment about that. But yeah, we've all done it. We've all gone out too hot. But that was one of those moments you're like, seriously, you're going to run at that pace? All right, man. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Yeah.
I have more on that later.
Okay,
but
so that's my that's my spirit of the game. So my dark horse here, and I don't know what year it was, but it just, the second I saw it, I was like, seriously? It was Dave Castro's cornrows. Just like, and Dave had always kind of had this history of doing something with his hair during the games. I think one year he had frosted tips, and one year I don't know.
He had the cornrows. But next year, the frosted tips looked like he was going to a Goo Goo Dolls concert.
We have all made questionable hairstyle decisions. I am guilty of it. I have done it many times in my life. I get it.
I've had
but
frosted
to
tips.
do it that spectacularly and in that public of a setting, I was like, wow. Seriously?
What made that better is that year.
What year was that? 2015, I think, or 14?
I honestly don't. But the one identifying thing about that is I remember that was the year that this couple won a contest from Reebok to get married on the floor of the CrossFit Games.
That's right. And Dave was the officiant with his cornrows.
So you have this husband and wife getting married in nanos on the floor of this tennis dinner, and your officiant is a cornrow Dave Castro.
Yeah, it's just, again, we've all done it. Their pictures exist of everyone out there of a hairstyle where you're like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking there.
Oh man.
But to do that in that setting, I was just like, seriously? All right. So those are my two. So now we get onto the podium. Let's get onto the podium. And I'll let you start with third place.
Okay. My third place was actually Joe Scally in Murph.
Okay, there you go.
The only reason that it wasn't because he did it and he knew what he was doing. He was getting in front for the TV.
There you go.
He was getting his TV time in the CrossFit Games, knowing that if he won the mile, he would get some coverage.
I mean, we talked about him the whole time, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He went on to finish 25th in Murph and was withdrew from the competition before the end of Saturday. But he withdrew
he had
after
a legit
the soccer
injury,
trip.
I remember.
He has glass shoulders.
Yeah.
Respectfully. And I say that,
a lot of hockey miles.
I say that in a friendly manner with Joe, obviously, because you joke about it all the time.
Love Joe. Good dude.
But yeah, he's got some tough shoulders.
Okay.
But yeah,
That's a good one. Third.
Yeah,
So I mean, I debated whether I was going to put that on the podium. The reason I didn't and gave it Spirit of the Games is because, again, I think we all can relate. We can all relate to that. So my third place. Now this one is more of an unfortunate occurrence rather than someone just doing something not smart. 2015, we had a repeat event. It was the one, I think it was like the first event we did in the tennis stadium. It was Sandbag 2015. And Noah Olson comes in like looking good. This is going to be his year. And he's got the wheelbarrow loaded up with all those sandbags, and he's going to, and doing well in the event, and then proceeds to dump it all over the stadium floor. And I'm just like, oh, seriously? You just did that, Noah? Come on, man. It was, and that was the mistake. I remember talking to him afterwards. He was just devastated. He's like, man, I just made this big mistake. And I don't know. And it's just, hey, man, it's the first day. You keep your head up. You're going to be okay. But that was that one mistake that actually probably that kept him. I don't know. I can't remember where he finished that year. But that was the one that really, knocked him out of any sort of chance of getting on the podium. And it was just like, seriously, Noah, that's when you're going to make your mistake is dumping your wheelbarrow.
He was 36 in that event.
Yeah.
He only got 8 points.
There you go.
And yeah, he finished 8th overall.
Yeah. So you take that away and who knows, maybe he winds up on the podium, but that was the start of the signature Noah mistake. So I'm giving Sandbag 2015 Noah Olson. That's my third place.
A near miss from for mine was in 2010 when that first showed up. And I think it was Matt Chan's one, just his wheelbarrow basically just disintegrated. And I remember everyone's just like, who put this wheelbarrow together?
Weren't you a part of the crew?
Pat Sherwood's hiding underneath the tennis stadium. I think him and Rory put it together.
Oh, no. Oh boy. Okay.
But I just couldn't quite put that one because that basically had nothing to do with that.
So that's the thing. That's why I put it in third, because it wasn't really Noah's fault.
Okay. My second place.
All right. I can see you're still debating here.
Annie Thorisdottir in the 333.
Oh, okay.
So at the end of the 333, devastating event for a lot of people. And I think, Annie was known for crossing the finish line with a smile and putting her hands up. And, it's all great and dandy. But as she's coming across the finish line, people are celebrating, whatever. And remember, this is after she was gone a year. So this is kind of her return.
First year back from the back injury.
She's by no means winning the event. I think she's in 26th or 25th. But she's kind of like waving and smiling and put her hands up. Meanwhile, Becca Voigt is just rolling up carpet behind her, just wheels to the rubber, and passes her at the finish line and dives in front of her and takes a couple of extra points from Annie that year.
Call that the old Leon Lett.
Exactly. Oh, God, don't bring that up.
You won the game.
Yeah, I know. If anyone's not a Dallas Cowboys fan, Dallas Cowboys were about to set the scoring record
for the Super
Bowl, and Leon Lett picked up a fumble and was returning it for a big guy touchdown.
Yeah, fat guy TD alert here.
And Don Beebe, Mr. Hustle USA, dives and knocks it out of his hands for a safety.
It was like a safety or a touchback.
Yeah. At the 1 yard line. Oh man, I forgot him.
Yep. Don't celebrate till you're across a goal.
Exactly. Goal yep. And Annie did that, and Becca Voigt made her pay for it. And Annie finished second that year.
Yep.
And those 2 points wouldn't have made a difference. But let's just say that maybe that prevented her from getting the momentum.
That's a good. Didn't we have? I don't think it was a year prior. We had the same thing in legless, right?
I have this on my list.
I'm not going to. All right, never mind.
It's not on my list, but it's a near miss.
Near miss. Okay,
yeah,
but it was
talk about
Jordan. All right, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's go. So now I got to give my second place. Now my second place, I think this could have been like there was a serious debate as to whether or not this was going to be 1 or 2. And I had to put it in 2 because I'll give you the explanation for 1 when I get to it.
Okay.
But this is 2011. This is Jason Kalipa on the softball.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's just one of those moments. You're like, how did you grow up in the United States of America and not know how to throw a ball?
It
was just, I watched that. I was in the crowd for that. And I went, seriously?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I mean, really? I just don't know how. And he played football. He was, he played sports. It wasn't like he, was not. I just don't know how that is humanly possible. It looked like a shanked punt. It was bad. It was terrible. So yeah, that's in second because that's I'll give you the explanation as the number one. That one was almost number one, but that was bad. So now we're getting down to the top of your podium. So
well, Sean, that was my number one. Because what made it worse is if people don't remember, this was part of the skills test 1.
Yes.
Which started with a max.
It was like a max snatch and there wasn't an L-sit part of that too?
It was a max L-sit hold.
That's right, yeah.
And then a softball throw, or it was a max snatch, an L-sit hold, and then a softball throw. Right before that softball throw, Jason Khalipa won the L-sit hold for the men.
I remember that. I remember the video of his legs just like shaking in the air, and he actually won it. Yeah,
our very own, Annie Sakamoto won it for the women.
Yes, of course.
But Jason wins it with 51 seconds.
That's impressive.
And then they're like, Jason Khalipa. Everybody's like, yeah. And it's like, all right,
here we go. I mean, it's a softball throw. How hard can it be?
It was like that scene from The Sandlot when he doesn't know how to throw to his dad.
The thing I think, and this is going way back, there's a famous piece of video it was a Super Bowl. And I don't know if I don't think it was the Dolphins undefeated year. It may have been, but where it was the Dolphins against Washington, and Gary Apremian, the Dolphins kicker, had to like try to bail out of a bad field goal, and he's trying to throw the ball, and it just like goes backwards. It's like just classic football folly, but that's basically what it reminded me of.
It was literally like that scene in The Sandlot where he eventually just goes and runs and hands the ball back to his stepdad. But it was funny because I remember we're standing there like, man, Khalipa won the L-sit. He should do. And some people were like, he should do well. He was a football player. He knows how to throw. And then all of a sudden,
he's a nose tackle.
Like I turned this out. I was like, his hand was in the dirt.
Exactly.
That was not
a skill position.
Freshman football. They're like, all right, Jason, where do you want to play? Here, catch. Drop. Goes through his hands.
Yep.
Throw it back. Flubs it. Offensive lineman it is.
Exactly. Or you're just going to make a pile right there.
Yep. So that was my number one because it was also contrasted by the fact that Jason is such a good a good CrossFit athlete, and there are other people that were equally bad at the softball throw, but they're all Europeans,
right? Which fine.
Dave actually got on the mic and made a joke. He said maybe if we had him kick it, they'd do better.
I remember that. Yeah. Well, that's a good one. That's it. So my number one, you got to go back. So this is 2012. This is the rope sled event.
Ooh, oh yes, I know.
So this is if you remember that event, there was a black line, of tape on the rope, and the reason they put that on there is because athletes had to show control below that line before they could hop off the rope onto the crash pad. There's a safety thing, so they couldn't just like fireman all the way down. So you had to come down, stop under that line, show control, and jump off. Now, going into this event, the thought was that, okay, anybody who has a football background is going to do well because that sled was basically a one-person tackling dummy. Well, Neil Maddox was in the field at the time, and Neil Maddox had played college football, had played arena football for the San Jose SaberCats for a little bit. And they're thinking, well, he's got experience on this. He's going to do really well. Jason Khalipa was another guy. So I think it was the first set of rope climbs, and I don't remember what the rep scheme was, but you go up the rope a couple times, and then I think you go and you push the sled, and you go back and you do the rope, push the sled. So Neil gets up the rope, fireman's his way down, does not show control below the line, hits the pad, and his judge looks at him and goes, no rep. Then you can see on the broadcast, he is explaining to Neil why. He goes, you can see the judge's hand go like that below the line, right? Mm-hmm. And Neil's like, okay, got it. Proceeds to go back up the rope and does the exact same thing on the way down. And the judge literally looks at him and just puts his arms out like this, just because I know some people listening can't see, but he's just like, wait, what? And the judge went, what are you doing? Kind of gave him that and then gave him the no rep again. And that event just killed any chance that Neil had of getting on the podium. But I could not believe the second time he did it. I went, wait, seriously? He just told you have to, and he literally just right down the rope onto the crash pad. And the judge, the best part of that is what makes that whole, the reason why it's number one is the judge's reaction. It wasn't like no rep. It was just hands up. Like, wait, What are you doing? I thought we just talked about this.
No.
Yeah. So that's my number one for seriously moments, because it's like you had a chance to fix it and then you didn't do it. So,
that's great. Yeah.
Or Neil Maddox on the rope sled.
He finished 35th in that event.
Yes, he did. So that was that basically took him out of any sort of contention. So what are some of the ones that, I know we were talking about some of the ones that just missed, but I mentioned 2013. What that was, I think it was Jordan Troyan, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had two of them from Jordan Troyan.
Oh, wow.
So one was the celebration.
Okay.
That was one of the clips I remember seeing in the edit bay over and over
and Marcus
again.
Hendren was a guy who dived across the finish line.
Marcus Hendren and one other person was involved too.
I think Froning was in that mix.
Yeah, but Hendren dove.
Hendren is the one who,
which Marcus Hendren low key is one of like the best like games athletes, like athletes who performed at the games that people don't really know who he is in the modern era. Because if he showed up to the games, top 10.
Yep, exactly. But
regionals was a tough go for him. But still, you know, multiple years in the top 10. The other one, so I had that one. I also had his first to worst in 2014. He wins the swim event.
Yeah, won the swim event.
And then bombs out all three overhead squats.
In his defense, I remember there was an interview with him underneath this tennis stadium where he's like, yeah, I'm wearing the leader's jersey, but this isn't my best event, so probably not going to last. So he knew he wasn't going to do well. I don't think he knew
he was going to get a zero.
Last, but yeah,
he got 0 points.
He got 0 points. So whoops-a-daisy.
Yep. And
I'm trying to think of some other ones that were out there. I just had one. I had
the will the red bag be clearly
marked? That's the one. That's it right there. So the people, I'm not going to name who it was.
Yep.
But there was and we got this from Adrian Bosman, who has some great stories about questions he gets from athletes and athlete briefings and things like that. But if you remember the Sandbag 2015 event, the last bag that had to go up the stairs was red. It was bright, like it was all red. So they told the athletes, the red bag has to be the last one up the stairs. And an athlete who shall remain nameless raised his hand and asked, will the red bag be clearly marked? Well, it's red.
Good golly.
So the answer to that is yes.
Oh my God.
So there you go. Those are our top, seriously, moments from the games. We might have to do a regional version of that.
We might.
But we only had, out of all the offenders, we had one woman. So that tells you about our propensity as males to do stupid stuff.
Dumb stuff. Meanwhile, all the female CrossFitters are just shaking their heads at us.
Like, come on. Seriously?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of, you got one more?
Oh, I was just thinking it's not as bad, but I couldn't quite put it in there because Kari Pierce on the rings last year.
Oh,
falling
yeah.
Just
another accident.
Belly flopping it.
And then still crushed the event.
Yes.
You know,
still crushed it.
Dang. Wait, was that the one that she won or that she did really well in? She did really well in that event, right?
I think she still did really well, yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. So now that is going to do it. You got another one?
No, I was just going to look up what she finished. It was ringer 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think.
7th? She's okay.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Well, hope you enjoyed that edition of our podium picks. We'll get back to a non-CrossFit one next week. Don't know what that's going to be. Looking forward to it. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Thanks for listening, everybody. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland, and we'll see you guys.